Epic Games has announced plans for a heap of changes for its free-to-play juggernaut, Fortnite Battle Royale. The game's roughly 45 million players are about to see some pretty big changes to its matchmaking, wait times, and just general quality of life. But this is video games and not everyone's happy.
Epic Games posted a state of development update for Fortnite Battle Royale on its official blog a few days ago. The changes and updates were many and varied, including new mode varieties, new cosmetics based on ideas from the community, integration with social networks, and private matches. There's a lot of simple quality of life stuff on the way too, like improvements to team communication, a new way to queue up for another game straight from the death screen, improvements to the quick bar, and that sort of thing. But there's one little line in the blog post which implies one pretty significant change, and some players don't like it. Quote, "We are working on changes to matchmaking that are aimed at creating matches with a more balanced distribution of skill."
Well, less than 24 hours after this blog went live, Fortnite's official Twitter account tweeted this: "We heard you loud and clear concerning changes to matchmaking. We'll be sorting through all of the feedback we've been given and take it into careful consideration before taking any steps." As of the time of recording, that tweet has about 30,000 likes and retweets. So what's the problem? And why were Epic so quick to respond? Well, the issue among players seems directly linked to what kind of game Fortnite is. A skill-based matchmaking system would match players with comparable skill level, something implemented in lots of other games already. But clearly, some Fortnite fans think this would make the game a bit too serious and competitive instead of a more laid-back experience. So it certainly says something that they tweeted, in a very short time immediately after the blog went live. They responded like, whoa, yeah, okay, don't worry, we're listening to your feedback, we're hearing you, we'll take all this into consideration, because apparently some Fortnite fans don't like the idea of skill-based matchmaking.
I see a problem with this, right? If you're a laid-back player who's maybe a bit bad at the game, right? Let's say you're a below-average player, and you're playing with people who are average or above average, that's not going to be laid back for you because you're going to be getting your arse handed to you.
Yeah.
So you need to be matched with other players that are below average skill level. That makes it like less stressful, doesn't it? If you're a good player and you want a more laid back experience, you just want to kill people who are worse than you. So I don't get this. I see a problem with it. It's more laid back if you're playing with people who aren't well better than you. The only people that have a problem with this are people that are really good at the game who want to kill people that are worse than them because it's easier than fighting someone their own size.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, I'm sure they've got some really good points on their side, but the way I'm seeing it is just like, whenever I hate a game, it's because I'm playing against people that are on it for hours a day. If you're a laid back kind of guy who plays the game 3 hours a week, why don't you get matched with people that are playing it for 3 hours a week? That seems fair, and it seems like it will make a better experience. People aren't taking it like that.
I think there's an obvious solution. If they are going to do this, have two playlists. Have a casual playlist, have a ranked playlist, and then boom. And that might be what they do if they're taking things into consideration. That they might be looking for a solution. That feels like an obvious solution to me. I can kind of see it. If you just want to just not worry about it, not worry about your ranking, not worry about any of that shit. You just want to fire the game up and play for a little bit, and you want to just be a bit more laid back about the whole thing. I could see why you might be annoyed at this. Yeah. Otherwise, just do the same thing. You've got 45 million players. You can afford to split the player pool there between two playlists, I think, and still be alright. You'll be okay.
In another meaty bit of Fortnite news, the game actually beat PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds concurrent player peak during the Super Bowl weekend on February the 3rd and 4th, despite multiple server problems. Fortnite reached a peak of 3.4 million concurrent players, taking it past the 3 million peak posted by PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds in January. The game suffered up to 6 server incidents, which caused disruption to players due to the extreme load on servers. Some of those incidents led to total service disruptions.
In a post-mortem blog post, Epic wrote, "We want you all to know we take these outages very seriously, conducting in-depth post-mortems on each incident to identify the root cause and decide on the best plan of action. The online team has been working diligently over the past month to keep up with the demand created by the rapid week-over-week growth of our user base. But do remember, Fortnite Battle Royale is free to play, and the game is on PS4, PC, and Xbox. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is currently limited to Xbox One and PC, and it costs around $30.
You know what, yeah? Fortnite doesn't really owe anyone anything. It's a free game. You download it or you don't. You don't pay. You're not making any monetary commitment. And they seem to be straight away tweeting people, straight away listening to feedback, adding loads and loads and loads and loads. Battlegrounds, you paid $30 or whatever for the privilege of backing them in an early access game that didn't get finished on time, overexpanded, added in loot boxes, ruined the game with cheaters, and they don't get back at half the speed that Fortnite does. Fortnite, to be fair, I don't really enjoy the game myself, but you can't complain at how much they're killing it with, like, replying to people, adding in new game modes, like innovations like Ground is Lava mode and shit like that. But I mean, that's all I have to say anyway, really. Battlegrounds is just looking like a right wanker compared to Fortnite. What are they doing? They're just like going, oh, stop complaining about cheaters. Look how many we've banned. Meanwhile, Fortnite are like, hey guys, remember Ground is Lava from when you were a kid? Hey, we're doing that. And by the way, it costs you no money. Come on.
They're genuinely surprised by how many players they've got. I think that's one thing that they've even put that in the blog post there. It does come across as a bit of a humble brag. We're trying to cope with the record-breaking week-over-week growth that the game is seeing. It's
We're too sick,
there's
aren't
too
we?
many players, guys. We're just doing ace. But I think they genuinely are. There's multiple times in the past few months where they've gone, we did not expect this many players. We're a kind of a small team. Well, not a small team, but we're not used to dealing with like tens of millions of players like we are now. We don't know what to do. So the fact that it sets a record for player numbers, when it's doing that, the servers are just buckling under the pressure. It shows that it is setting records, but it can't quite cope with it. So it's the game's in an interesting place. And I think Epic Games, the fact that they recently basically shut down Paragon and everything, they're just trying to do everything they can now to shift all power to the thrusters or whatever the Star Trek reference is to cope with this, because they're in a new place. The game is a new kind of phenomenon. It's free for anyone to jump in and see what happens. It's no surprise that it's breaking records. So there's some changes coming to Fortnite Battle Royale, and some of them are pretty controversial, or at least one of them is. What do you think of this? Let us know down in the comments below. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed it, and please do subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this every single day. Now there's another video right there which you can check out right now if you want, and a link to Patreon if you want to support the channel. See you next time.